I am so ridiculously proud of my non-skills about making the new, intro. Good evening, Jude and Cynthia and Squid Pro Quo. Congrats on starting a channel. If you have any questions, look, technically, I may not be able to help you, but I will try to help or at least connect you to someone that can help you if possible. So if you need me, always, uh, gosh, I was gonna say Discord or, X, I should be able to help at least a little bit, not with anything technical-ishness, mostly. Eris, thank you for doing all of the mod stuff, and I hope you're having a great day. Audio Coffee, well, just don't slip because none of us can render aid. Cynthia, welcome. And JKD Buck, and Janie, and Deborah, and Phoenix, and Pernilla, and DC Cripple, and Deborah, and Flash Fan. I hope you are doing well too. We have all of the crazy news tonight. We really do. First off, I guess P. Diddy is getting, well, feted. I don't know. I have not been keeping up with all of P. Diddy's latest stuff, mostly because I just listen to, true crime podcasts and scare my husband. Welcome, Peace Peony and Debbie W. Homes of Sean Diddy Combs searched by federal officials, sources say. A source said the music mogul is a subject of a federal investigation after three women and a man have been interviewed in relation to allegations of the trafficking of the bad kind, assault of the terrible kind, and solicitation and distribution of illegal narcotics and force multipliers. I kind of, yeah, yikes. Sean Diddy Combs is the subject of a federal investigation amid a wave of civil lawsuits that have been filed against the rap music mogul since November, a source familiar with the matter told NBC News. No problem. And thank you, Fisher of Men. Good evening. Three women and a man have been interviewed by federal officials in Manhattan, and three other interviews are scheduled in relation to the allegations of the terrible kind of trafficking, SA, and solicitation. So, all the things that they said in the headline. I don't know why they take another paragraph to just say what they said in the headline. For law enforcement sources, sources familiar told NBC News that federal agents with Homeland Security investigations have executed search warrants at Los Angeles and Miami Beach properties belonging to Combs. The sources said the warrant is out of the Southern District of New York. HSI confirmed in a statement that it was also executing, quote, executed law enforcement actions in New York as part of an ongoing investigation, along with teams in Los Angeles and Miami. Representatives for Combs, age 54, did not immediately respond to NBC News for a request for comment. Pretty much. Pretty much. News of a federal investigation comes out after public scrutiny of Combs' behavior after his former romantic partner, Casey, accused him of both physical and other types of abuse for years. She made allegations in a lawsuit filed in New York under the New York Adult Survivors Act, which offers a 1-year window for adult victims of SA to come forward with civil claims regardless of the statute of limitations. Thank you. I decided to try it today. I will tell you that last week, I think I left the house maybe once. I decided to try to be a real human today. So, oh, in tangenty news, in total tangent ET news, and I know no one needs one of these, but I ordered a new desk so I can stand up and work on building up my leg strength on good days, and a little cube box to go back here instead of the desk thing so I can have some of my cool, Sailor Moon tchotchkes back there. Amazon has the FU op uh, F octopus. So the octopus basically has middle fingers erected on all the tentacles for $9? Am I getting one for the cube? Yes. Am I limiting myself to one for now? Possibly. Maybe, maybe not. There might be a brother and a sister match, I don't know. They might be cousins. Ugh, okay, let's see here. So, this is also kind of interesting because this is a fairly new, law in New York. It was actually passed for look, regardless of how you feel about, the last president, that Jean Carroll or whatever her name is with the short hair that about made Anderson Cooper lose his mind with her interview, she is a bit flighty even for me. So, they have changed things to where it is easier to make a civil claim even after the ent I mean, even if the abuse was a long time ago. I think that's a good idea in theory, but we have seen, with the Me Too movement, women weaponizing things and changing the definition of things, and then regret does not equal certain things. So it is interesting that she is using this particular law. That's all I'm saying about it. I am not saying it didn't happen or it did. I am simply saying that it would be good if it were used for good, but people can always use things for bad. Cassie's, whose full name is Cassandra Ventura, settled with Combs on November 17th, a day after it was filed on terms that have not been disclosed. Yeah, she probably had to sign like 3 non-disclosure agreements. Since then, 3 other women have come forward with lawsuits in the Southern District of New York alleging they were also assaulted by Combs. 2 of the women allegedly said they were teenagers at the time of the assaults. Combs has denied each of the allegations, calling them sickening. A producer who worked for Combs between September 2022 and November 2023 has also filed a lawsuit in February alleging that Combs harassed him sexually, drugged and threatened him for more than a year. The former employee, Rodney Little Rod Jones, also alleged that he had video and audio evidence of Combs, his staff, and others, quote, engaged in serious illegal activity, end quote. Sean Hawley, an attorney for Combs, denied Jones' allegations and said Combs' teams has overwhelming indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Combs has a number of legal issues going back before the recent lawsuits, which is not surprising for a high profile figure who's been in the public eye for decades. The mogul has rarely faced criminal charges. In 1999, Combs pled guilty to assaulting a record executive and was ordered to 1 day of anger management. Just 1 day. Look, he was cured. He's like, I have done my anger. He just meditated real hard. It just for that same year, Combs was accused of criminal possession of a firearm after shooting at a New York nightclub. You know, Quinkadinkly, all these things seem to happen around you, but you are a good person. I'm just throwing this out there, Mr. Combs, that maybe back in the day, you didn't hang out with the best people. Witnesses told law enforcement they saw Combs with a force multiplier at the club, but it was rapper Shine, real name Moses Barrow, who witnesses said fired into the crowd. Combs was pulled over by the police in a vehicle with then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez. With a force multiplier in the car, Combs was acquitted of weapons and bribery charges, while Shine was found guilty of the club shooting at trial. Since Cassie's suit was filed and others have come forward accusing Combs of assault, Combs has been the center of scrutiny. He stepped down from his position as chairman of media network Revolt, and Hulu pulled back from a planned reality series centered on his family. I mean, I hope that if these people are truly victims, that they're going to get the justice they deserve, and that his wealth and influence won't detract from that. But I'm also getting, and I hate that I'm this cynical, I'm also getting a very big, like, "Hey, she got money out of this, now I'm going to get money out of this," kinda feeling, and I wish I didn't feel that way, but we've had a lot of these stories where women have used these sort of laws and these sort of vague kind of things to weaponize things, which makes it harder for victims and real people that suffer these attacks to come forward, and I hate that. In other happier news, Lego blocks police from using toy heads to protect suspect's ID in quirky online post. Dang it, Lego, this was the one funny thing that was going on. Oh, snap. Lego has come down on a Florida or California police department like a ton of bricks, albeit politely asking it to stop adding digital toy heads on suspects' faces, which it has been doing to comply with state law protecting offenders' rights. Murrieta police went viral for posting hilarious images with suspects' faces replaced by Lego heads after the state legislator passed a bill prohibiting the release of mugshots and booking photos of those accused of nonviolent crimes. But the toy giant is not playing around and wants to block the agency from using its cute likenesses. Quote, the Lego group has reached out to us and respectfully asked us to refrain from using their intellectual property in our social media content, which of course we understand and will comply with. Police spokesman Lieutenant Jeremy Durant told Fox News Digital, we're currently exploring other methods to continue publishing our content in a way that's engaging and interesting to our followers, he added to the outlet. Hey, I'm just saying, I don't even know if the people that make trolls are still alive. Use troll faces, okay? And I know that's why I'm working on my grammaticalness, Zach. uh, Images on the department's Instagram page showed digitally superimposed blocks with a variety of facial expressions crying, frowning, smirking, or raging. These are hilarious. One appeared to show two suspects handcuffed in the back of a patrol car with a Lego face on one angrily looking at the other whose toy head is crying. Another showed five people in a lineup who were completely unrecognizable because of the toy heads. Quote, the Murrieta Police Department prides itself in transparency with the community, but also honors everyone's rights and protections as afforded by law, even suspects, the police agency said on social media last week. It, I mean, oh, the Shrek one's pretty good. In order to share what's happening in Murrieta, we have chosen to cover the faces of suspects to protect their identity while still aligning with the new law, it added. In 2021, the California legislature passed Assembly Bill 1475, which prohibits local law enforcement agencies from publishing images of suspects in nonviolent crimes. I mean, you wouldn't want to know who's, carjacking or who's breaking into cars. I mean, there's no need for you to have a gander at who's going to be able to do, who's doing that so you can maybe keep an eye out on your six. Not in California. Last year, the state also passed Assembly Bill 994, which requires mugshots of any suspects to be removed from social media within 14 days unless there are special circumstances, according to the LA Times. Well, goodness, what more could we do for the criminals? Have we thought about just not locking them up? I mean, it's kind of mean to arrest them and stuff. Giblets, California. Durant previously told the news outlet that the department has been obscuring faces and photos in various ways for the past couple years. The department has been obscuring suspects' faces by using emojis, Barbie dolls, and even Shrek characters. Well, there you go. If I get arrested one day, I would like to be Princess Fiona, like the human one. I'm just throwing that out there. The desk sergeant's just like me. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I just learned how to do something cool on Canva. I'm I'm gonna show you all how I did it." So, they just let the chief play with Canva for the day. I know my grammatical necessity has improvulated muchly since you've arrived. You keep me in check. Uh, Now I know that everyone is going to be going to, Godzilla 2, or at least I will, but if you want to see this, um, because you want to have nightmare fever dreams for the rest of your life. Now, I know if you are on the MLS Discord, they did watch, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 1. Now, I didn't get to watch that because I am not really into gore, but apparently there's a number 2, and welcome Roy and Ellis. So, where to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2? What you know, whoever made this, God bless you, but Imma need you to tone down on that microdosing just a little bit, okay? Now I am speaking as a child of the, you know, '80s and '90s, and we did have Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal, so there was some weird stuff going on in our kids' movies, but this is a whole lot of weird. Hello, Becca Lynn. Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin's horror turned story grows, and there are options for where to watch. Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. Thanks to Winnie the Pooh and Friends entering the public domain, 2023 brought the first of many new amazing movies utilizing them in horror tone that's dramatically different from the Disney versions of the character. Winnie the Pooh Winnie the Pooh Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey was the first installment in the slasher franchise, and the film's success led to Reese Frank Waterfield developing a sequel. Um, I didn't watch it. Dave said it was really good. They watched it on Discord. Um, from what I saw from, like, the Disparu breakdown or the, oh gosh, Roanoke Gaming breakdown, it's a whole lot of, well, they kinda ate Eeyore. They kinda turned into cannibals and ate Eeyore because I guess he didn't move fast enough. He was too depressed or something. I don't know. Just it it is like a fever dream in a Pink Floyd album with e I don't even know. It is insane. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 brings Pooh, Christopher Robin, and Piglet back, with Tigger and Owl joining the assembly, this t or the ensemble this time. Is that supposed to be Tigger? Who and what in paper mache hell is that? And welcome Jason J. and Greedy Bloke. The story of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 picks up after the events of the first one, and it didn't end well. The movie follows Pooh, Piglet, Tigger, and Owl as they go on a bloodthirsty mission to get revenge on Christopher Robin. Since the sequel is an independent production, it doesn't have the massive marketing campaign behind it like many other titles, nor does it have a traditional release strategy planned, which means knowing when and where and how to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 is all the more important. Well, so there you go. You can just pop it into, your Fandango or your Cinemark or anything if you wanna go see this in the theater. It is 100 minutes long. It is not rated yet. I do not know when it's coming out. Oh, it's okay, so it looks like it'll be out tomorrow. So there you go. Uh, if you wanna see something horrifying and like a fever dream, although, you guys, I would still say that seeing this in the theater is probably less uncomfortable than seeing 50 Shades of Grey with a bunch of women with cat sweaters on, and no shame to cat sweaters, but I I just don't understand how you could see that movie, like, with a bunch of grandmas. Just nope. Just nope. Olympics taster Paris race celebrates the servers who nourish the city's life and soul. Usain Bolt's sprint world records were never in danger. Then again, even the world's fastest ever or human likely wouldn't have been so quick while balancing a tray with a croissant, a cup of coffee, a glass of water through the streets of Paris, and without spilling it everywhere. Good morning, Aussie Tank. I hope you're doing well. France's capital resurrected a 110-year-old race for its restaurant servers Sunday. The dash through central Paris celebrated the dexterous and, yes, by their own admission, sometimes famously moody men and women without whom France wouldn't be France. Why? Because they make France's cafes and restaurants tick. Without them, where would the French gather to put the world to rights over drinks and food? Where would they quarrel and fall in and out of love? And where else would they simply sit to let their minds wander? Look, having dealt with the idiocracy of Simone de Beauvoir and Foucault for the last several years with their ridiculous ideology stuff, I'm about I'm about to think that the French don't need to be thinking so long. Do not sit and think. French philosophers have done a lot of damage in this last, 50 years. I'm kinda done with their ideas right now. They have penned songs and poems about their bistros, so attached are they to their unpretentious watering holes that for generations have nourished their bodies and souls. Wow, someone is trying to get a freaking Pulitzer Prize on this article. Quote, "That is where you will find the population's fine flowers," sang singer-songwriter poet George Brassens, but also all the miserable and down on their luck. So drum roll, please, for Pauline van Weisschmerz and Sammy Lamorose, Paris's newly crowned fastest servers, and as such, ambassadors for an essential French profession. Well, there you go. The resurrection of the waitering race after a 13-year hiatus is one of Paris's efforts to bask in the Olympic spotlight and put its best foot forward for its first summer games in 100 years. I didn't I haven't kept up with the Olympics. I know you're gonna be shocked. So, I didn't even know it was gonna be in Paris this year. The first waiters race was run in 1914. This time, a couple hundred servers dressed up in their uniforms with the finest sporting bow ties loaded up their trays with the regulation pastry, small but empty coffee cup, a full glass of water for the 2 kilometer or 1 1/4 mile loop starting and finishing at City Hall. Van Wymerch, the runaway winner in the women's category, in 14 minutes and 12 seconds, started waitering at 16 and she's now 34. She said she cannot envision any other life for herself. I love it as much as I hate it. It's in my skin. I cannot leave it. Well, that sounds like a rash. Sounds like a scab you like to pick. I don't know that you should stay in a profession that's like a scab you like to pick. It's hard, it's exhausting, it's demanding, it's 12 hours per day, it's no weekends, it's no Christmases, but it's part of my DNA. I grew up in a way with a tray in my hand, she added. I have been shaped in life and in the job by bosses who trained me and the customers, all of the people I've met. Van Weiermich works at La Petite Pont Cafe, a restaurant facing Notre Dame Cathedral, and y'all should be very proud because I didn't say Notre Dame, alright? Lamorris, who won the men's race with a time of 13:30, waits at La Contrescarpe In Paris' 5th district, their prizes were medals, 2 tickets each for the July 16th Olympic opening ceremony along the River Seine, and a night out at a Paris hotel. Although all smiles on this occasion, competitors acknowledge that it's not always the case when they are rushed off their feet at work. The customers may always be right in other countries, but the server has the final word in France, feeding their reputation for being abrupt, moody, and even rude at times. I am trying. I'm listening to, Schoolhouse Rock. Imma learn all the things. Quote, "French pride means that in little professions like this, you don't want to be trampled on," says Therity Petite, 60, who's retiring in April after 40 years of waiting tables. "It's not lack of respect, rather it's more a state of mind," he said, switching to English. He added, "It's very Frenchy." The capital's mayor, Anne Hidalgo, said cafes and restaurants are, quote, "really the soul of Paris." The bistrot is where we go to meet people and where we go for our little coffee, our little drink, but also where we go to argue, to love, and to embrace each other, she said. The cafe and the bistro are life. I know. That's how I learn all the things. I'm learning about conjunctions. It'll be awesome. Tomorrow I'm going to learn about a bill. uh, you know, The more I read these things, the less I wanna eat out. Chipotle Manager admitted to lewd acts in restaurant's dining room, and of course, he had to film it, because if you didn't take pictures, did you really, well, give yourself a hand hug in the bathroom? For the love of all the Cheetos. A Chipotle manager exposed himself and gave himself a little, well, encouragement in the dining room of a Pennsylvania restaurant, according to police who say that a female victim, quote, "felt 3 squirts of liquid on her jeans." Oh, no, send him directly to Snake Island. This dude is gross. Nope. When she got up to leave the table where the man allegedly had been, well, again, hugging himself. Yeah. The woman, one of whom was a former Chipotle employee, detailed the encounter with Kasim Ransom, the 26-year-old manager. The duo told cops they were seated at a communal table and talking with Ransom and other employees when Ransom began doing something with his hands down towards his crotchular region. Yuck. Just no. One of the women said she saw Ransom, well, she saw his schmeckle, and she looked away in denial and horror. The woman added that Ransom grabbed numerous napkins and placed him down his pants, then brought one napkin up and, well, it had evidence, and it was gross. The second woman reported also noticing, his schmeckle and that he was possibly, you know, giving himself a massage. He was tubining himself, if you will. When the former Chipotle worker got up to leave the table, she said she felt 3 squirts of liquid hit her jeans. Oh, hell no. Welcome, blue hair Bible lady. Yes, we did. It was the first story. Sorry. During the police questioning, Ransom reportedly, quote, confirmed the incident in verbal and written statements. He was charged yesterday with multiple misdemeanors, including indecent assault, open lewdness, indecent exposure. Ransom was suspended from Chipotle, and if he has not already, is expected to be fired. Ransom was pictured above wearing his former uniform in a selfie apparently snapped in the restaurant's bathroom. You know, I'll just eat at home. A Maine baseball team officially breaks whoopie pie world record. It's not as fun as it sounds, but those things are delicious, and they should be labeled with a warning label, I swear to goodness. A Maine baseball team announced it has officially taken the Guinness World Record for the longest line of whoopie pies. The Portland Sea Dogs teamed up with the Maine Whoopie Pie Festival and the Wicked Whoopies to attempt for the world record for the longest line of whoopie pies in June of last year, but the process of having it verified as a Guinness World Record took several months. The team said the official certificate will be presented to the team on Tuesday. The 2,121 whoopie pies were arranged in a straight line before being reorganized into a massive whoopie pie image of a whoopie pie and served to attendees at the baseball team's field. Whoopie pies, a renowned Maine delicacy, are composed of two cookie-shaped cake pieces with cream filling sandwiched in the middle. So there you go. Well, I mean, Becca Lynn, I can't help I can attempt to I can only find the news that I find. Now, this looks like something that Mo would take a hard pass on. I had to look at do something right now. I'll fix the Middle East. Okay. Um, I'm gonna sit them both in a corner and make them go to separate parts of the of the globe at this point, because I don't know that a get along shirt's gonna work. I'd have to check people for shivs. A UK runner becomes the first woman to finish sadistic race with torturous rules to make sure people lose. Well, this sounds like a fun weekend. I'm sure I uh, I don't know. I am one Mo. I am just basically trying to keep my children from ending up, you know, being I'm trying to raise productive children that at least shower with soap and water some days. So as a hot mess express, I feel like there should be a more adulty adult that gets it. A British runner became the first woman to finish an infamous and sadistic Tennessee foot race where participants are served undercooked meat and forced to time their runs around an official's smoking schedule. Um, this sounds terror bad and awful, but I guess if you want to do it, that sounds beautiful. Jasmine Paris, 40, of England, finished the grueling course of the Barkley Marathons Friday in with under 100 seconds to spare before the race's 60-hour cutoff. The race is designed for failure, with participants tasked with finding pieces of paper hidden in the woods. Paris became the first woman to successfully complete the 5 loops around Frozen Head State Park, which contestants and organizers say is anywhere between 100 and 130 miles, with enough combined altitude to equal climbing up and down Mount Everest twice. Yipes. The ultra runner collapsed at the finish line due to exhaustion, but told BBC News that she was overjoyed by the accomplishment and had a strong feeling that she was in good enough shape to finish the race, a feat equaled by only 19 other runners since the race's inception in 1986. Barkley Marathons is the concoction of director Gary Lazarus Lake Cantrell, who began the contest with Carl Henn because they thought they could cover more ground in the densely forested Cumberland Mountains than James Earl Ray. Ray, the unaliver of Martin Luther King Jr., only managed to cover 12 miles in 54.5 hours in the steep, rough terrain after his 1977 prison break from a now shuttered penitentiary on the current race course, according to the documentary Barkley Marathons, The Race That Eats Its Young. This sounds like a great idea to do. I can't imagine. Next year, Mo's doing it. And by doing it, I mean watching it on TV. Because no. Cantrell's eccentric race starts with a complex application process that he changes to make it more difficult every year. Would-be runners have to email an essay to Cantrell on a certain time on the specific day of the year, according to the documentary. Runners' messaging boards and published reports. If applicants don't know when that is or where to send it, they're out of luck. The race has no website or official entries list. Out of the more than 1,000 typical annual applicants, Cantrell sends condolence letters to about 40 successful ones, some of whom are handpicked by them to be human sacrifices because you know they will fail. The letter reads in part, "Good luck, morons." I like this guy. He seems a little sadistic, though. I mean, but I like his sense of humor. Those who make the cut have to send in a $1.60 fee, a license plate from their home state or country, and a specific piece of clothing or one pack of Camel cigarettes, depending on the applicant's status. What is going on here? And y'all know I would be one of them human sacrifices. They'd be like, this heifer isn't even getting off the front line. The is always in early spring, but the exact date is intentionally kept shrouded in mystery. When the runners finally arrive, they're treated to a pre-race barbecue where some of the meat is intentionally undercooked by Cantrell just to keep the runners on their toes. Then to dial up the psychological warfare, as if that's the race could start anywhere from midnight to noon, depending on the director's whim. He gives athletes a 1 hour heads up by blowing into a conch shell, then officially kicks off the proceedings by lighting one of those camels, which functions as the starting gun. These people willingly sign up for so I can't imagine. I mean, it sounds like people that want to be tortured, to be honest with you. What the heck? I mean, you willingly have to sign up for this, and then most people don't get accepted, and then there's the actual race. The course map is provided only on one single sheet of paper, which runners have to study and memorize. There are no markers on the unforgiving trail, which is run in both directions at all hours of the day and night in weather ranging from below freezing to stifling hot, depending on the altitude. Contestants are required to find and rip out about 60 to 75 pages corresponding with their bib number in notebooks hidden along the route to prove they've been there, and the bib number changes during each lap just to keep them honest, along with the direction of the course. There are no aid stations, of course, except water at two places. Phones and GPS equipment are apparently not allowed. Well, then, y'all, I am screwed. Because I'd be like, why in the hell am I in Oklahoma? These people are nutty. I mean, if it's your jam, but I'm pretty sure you could pay someone to hurt you for less. So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not gonna kink shame if running for a crazy person is your kink. I mean, that's just you, but holy cow. If anyone fails to finish a lap in less than 12 hours, they are disqualified. In 2017, runner Gary Collins was deemed ineligible after traversing 67,000 feet of elevation because he finished the race 6 seconds after the 60-hour cutoff. All these challenges and setbacks make the accomplishment all the more sweet for Paris, who has set records in the Bob Graham and Ramsey rounds, as well as winning the Dragons Back race and the 2019 Motan Spine race. This year marked Paris's third straight attempt at finishing the Barkley Marathons. Last year, she became the first woman to finish 4 laps. She collapsed in agony and ecstasy at the finish line, her legs scratched from bushwhacking in the ungroomed course with her bare legs. It's hasn't really sunk in that I've finally done it, she reportedly said, as word of her triumph went viral in the UK. This year, I had a strong feeling in the months of training and running up to the race that I could do it. Those final moments have redefined for me what I'm capable of. Photographer David Miller captured her victory, which he called the greatest ultramarathon achievement of all time. Look, again, y'all, There is not a zombie apocalypse. There are not a bunch of raging PTA moms behind me. There are not a horde of Taylor Swift fans, enthusiastically wanting to talk to me about Tay-Tay. I am not running, okay? I will hobble along quicklier, though. There was a lot of anticipation at the finish line, and 3 minutes before the 60-hour cutoff, we heard shouting and a roar. It was people cheering Jasmine on. She was sprinting and giving it her all, as there was no room for error because otherwise she would not have made the cutoff, he said of her 59 hours, 58 minutes, and 21-second finish. She touched the gate and collapsed in exhaustion. It was the best thing I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. Yes, Fisher of Men. This is not my jam. 4 other racers also finished the race this year, making an astonishing success rate for an event that has seen no finishers on more than half the times it's been held. So this man is a masochist, and these people are a sadist, and these people are masochists. Okie dokie. Good to know. Good lord, people. Oh, wait, where is it? So, I have been following this case, but I wanted to wait until these people were sentenced because these are the 2 grossest human beings I have ever met or, well, learned about, uh, and I'm glad they finally got sentenced. Parents sentenced after allowing paralyzed daughter to melt into family's couch over the course of several years. These 2 are that gross trash water that ends up at the bottom of, like, your trash bin that you have to take out to the end of the street. They are lower than that. Like, corroded trash water is too good and would not even talk to them, okay? A Louisiana mother and father who neglected their disabled adult daughter to the point that she, quote, unquote, "melted" into the family's couch were sentenced to spend the next 20 years in prison on Wednesday. So I have sort of looked at this, case. Their daughter was, I think, highly functioning autistic, and one day I don't know how this happens, I'm not a medicalologist, alright? But she became, a victim of, I guess, frozen or trapped body syndrome. So, basically, she was stuck in one position but fully aware of what was going on, and they just kinda let her sit there, but they didn't feed her, they didn't wash her, they didn't do anything. I mean, she just sat there for years. It's the grossest thing I have ever heard about. These two festering boils on the butt of humanity. Lacey Ellen Fisher, 36, could not move, living in nearly complete paralysis with a condition referred to as locked in syndrome. She relied entirely on the care and attention of her parents. On January 3rd, 2022, Lacey Fletcher was found not alive and sunk into a 1960s style couch at the home in Slaughter, a town with fewer than 100 residents located 40 miles north of Baton Rouge. She was she was in a terrible state. She was covered in waste. Her body, yeah, her body was destroyed because, I mean, the waste had, it's terrible. It's just terrible. In early February, I'm not gonna go through, look, it is an awful thing. There are videos out there that with people that do a very good job and are very respectful, but all I wanna say is moldering, feckless pieces of crap, and they were, and I wish that they got the same treatment that they gave to their daughter. But you guys can look at it. It's just do not eat before it. It is graphic and terrible what this girl went through. In early February, a statement issued by their then defense attorney after pleading no contest to manslaughter, Sheila Fletcher and Clay Fletcher, both 66, maintained that they loved their daughter, quote, to death. To death. Yeah, we know. You dinguses, you absolute. jackasses? De Aquila voiced incredulousness at the claim, reminding Law and Crime at the time that, I mean, it was just terrible. Prosecutors pushed for the maximum sentence after the plea, which was technically applied during their sentencing hearing. Both parents were sentenced to 40 years in prison, with 20 years of their sentences being suspended, according to Baton Rouge based CBS affiliate WAFB. The couple will also be subject to 5 years of supervised probation once released from prison. Yes. Yes. It's just so gross. But I have been waiting for them to be sentenced. It felt like it was taking forever. Quote, "You know you wouldn't treat your animals like that," the prosecutor told the television station on Wednesday. "If you had a horse that was in the stall behind your house, you go back there and, if you see bones and flesh, I mean, you wouldn't treat your animal like that." Parish coroner Dr. Ewell DeWitt Brickham III reportedly said the woman had last seen a doctor 2 decades ago. She weighed all of 96 pounds at the time of her, unfortunate passing. So the sentence so the sentence was 40 years, 20 suspended, and, they have to serve 20 years inside. Now, I don't know in Georgia what, percentage of the full sentence they will have to serve, but I hope it's all of it. So, after we all saw the medical examiner on the Brooks case. Well, she said this one said, "I couldn't eat for a week and I cried for a week," Brickham told Baton Rouge affiliate WBRZ in June 2023. Last summer, the parents were indicted in their daughter's murder for the second time. The question on everyone's mind is how could they be caretakers living in the house with her and have her get into a condition like that? Thank you, Ghostery, for joining from Rumble. Thank you so much. I don't know. I'll have to listen to the sentencing. De Aquila told New Orleans metro area outlet NOL.com in late April 2022, "It's cruelty to the infirm, and we can't just let it sit." Months passed before the investigation into Lacey Fletcher's death had been wrapped up, but by then the district attorney was intent on pressing charges. A formal indictment on charges of murder in the second degree was issued against her parents in early May 2022. The first indictment was tossed by a judge due to defective language in the charging documents, a quickly amended procedural issue. "This case is so horrific," D'Aquila told WBRZ in 2020. The coroner and the sheriff's office initially investigates this case in January, and the condition she found in was just unbelievable. So, I mean, and you could tell when you opened the house, the smell was there. So I am completely glad that these parents are at least going away for 20 years in a Georgia prison or Louisiana, but it's not enough. Let's hear Yeah, they lived in the same house. Let's hear how William Shatner stays young because we need a palate cleanser for our last story. So I wanna hear how old William Shatner, the voice of Nibbler, I think, and the inspiration for my favorite character, Zap Brannigan on Futurama. Let's see here. Star Trek actor William Shatner, who celebrated his 93rd birthday Friday, feels as young as ever. Shatner's secret to him remaining youthful in his 90s is, quote, "just staying engaged in life, to stay curious, but the luck has a lot to do with it in your health. Your life's energy, the soul's energy of your body is a product of health," he told people. "If you're sick, you can't be energetic. You're dying. So my luck has been I've been healthy all my life." The actor who starred in the original Star Trek show from 1966 to 1969 prides himself on still being energetic. He told he told people at the premiere of his documentary titled You Can Call Me Bill Thursday that he largely credits that positive outlook to his wife, Elizabeth Martin. Shatner was married to Martin from 2001 to 2022 when their divorce was finalized. Reconciliation rumors have began to spread after the former couple attended the Living Legends of Aviation's awards together in January 2023. He told the outlet he doesn't tend to take birthdays too seriously and prefers a laid back celebration. Well, birthdays are purportedly a big day. I suppose there's a reason for someone outside to celebrate. Oh my God, 93, he said, adding, I'm not glorying in it. Prior to his big day, Shatner shared his biggest regret from his long Hollywood career. Speaking candidly about his 1989 film Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier, Shatner implied that the project was doomed from the start. He reprised the role of James T. Kirk in the film, which he originally played in the TV series. Quote, I wish I'd had the backing and courage to do the things I felt I needed to do. My concept was Star Trek goes in search of God. And the management said, who's God? We'll alienate the non-believer, so no, we can't do God, he explained to the Hollywood Reporter. And then someone said, what about an alien who thinks they're God? Then it was a series of my inabilities to deal with the management and the budget, he said, of the subsequent steps in making the film in which he served as director. I failed in my mind. I failed horribly. When I'm asked, what do you regret the most? I regret not being equipped emotionally to deal with a large motion picture. So, in the absence of my power, the power vacuum filled with people that didn't make the decisions I would have made, he lamented. When it was released, the Star Trek film was criticized for its lack of execution and being an overall disappointment. Shatner noted that he takes all the blame, even if people question his budget or the support he had in hindsight. Question, y'all, was that the one with the whales in it? Because I was a bit confused by that one. I was okay, not a bit. I was a whole hell of a lot confused about the whales in space, possibly. It's on me, he reiterated, giving an example of mismanaging his $30 million budget. Oh, okay. Well, then I didn't see number 5 then. I saw the whale ones and I was kinda like, I'm out. I like whales, but I'm confused. The final scene, I wanted granite rock creatures to explode out of the mountain. The special effects guy said, I can build you a suit that's on fire and smoke comes out. I said, great. How much will that cost? They said, $250,000 a suit. Can you make 10 suits? He said, yeah. That's 2.5 million. You've got 30 million for a budget. Are you sure you want to spend it on that? He remembered thinking, those are the practical decisions. Shatner's plan famously didn't materialize due to mechanical issues toward the end of filming. Despite the memorable bump in the road, Shatner has remained successful both in front of and behind the camera. It's luck, the luck of being healthy, he told Fox News Digital in June of his longevity in the entertainment industry. I think that's the first thing. I've had things happen, nothing debilitating over a period of time. So having the life force within me is probably mostly what it's all about. He's joining the dark side. He's talking about midichlorian, y'all. Y'all, to be fair, I was 9 years old and I paid attention about like I pay attention now, if y'all feel me. So if it didn't grab a hold of my attention, I was just kind of half paying attention. I'm like, why are there whales? And then I would go back to doing whatever I was doing, probably playing with troll dolls. So to be fair, it is possible that 9-year-old Mo missed a lot of the context of the movie. And by a lot, I mean nearly all of it. So there you guys go, and by tomorrow, I should have my new desk. Yay! Although it won't be put up until, this weekend. And Mr. Mo did not acute himself because he didn't work on the project that he was going to electrocute himself with. So, it is what it is. Sometimes plans go astray. But I did buy, like, a crud ton more of my special pins. I like really fine tipped pins, and my kids keep stealing them, so I found more pins. So I am sure you are all really, really stoked to hear that. And I am also getting an F octopus. So, you know, it has been a banner day. If you need one, look, no one needs an octopus figurine, with erect middle fingers on the end of every tentacle. But if you desire one, they are on sale right now at Amazon for like $9 and they have different colors. And I'm just saying that, they're a beautiful conversation piece, and Mr. Mo says I can't get all 8 of them. Even though I really, really want to. But I'm only gonna get 1 right now because I'm trying to be good and like an adult or something close to it. Anyhoozle, I will be sending you guys over to Shizzy. I am going to take a quick break, make sure that everyone and all the windows are shut because it looks like we're gonna get some rain, but we had the house airing out for the spring, and then I will be on with Shizzy, and we will be doing more of the hails in the beginning before cray cray happened. I think is what the plan is. So I will see you over there. I hope you have all had a lovely time with me, and we will talk later. Judge Mo stuff is supposed to be here by tomorrow at the latest. So we are doing great on time. And oh my gosh, you guys, I got another Karen wig. I mean, it is beautiful. I'll have to show it to you tomorrow morning. Uh, I will call all the managers. So tomorrow, Karen wig with the problem glasses. We are calling all the managers. Let everyone know. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great evening. Be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Goodness gracious. And be kind to the whales because apparently they're going to save us all, except for the dolphins who might molest us. Okay, I need to get off of here before we're talking about other stuff.